Good morning.
ප්‍රියන්ත මහත්තයා ඉන්නවද?
බැංකු ගිහින් madam.
සම්පත් online banking. පහසුයි ලේසි කාලේ ඉතුරුයි. සම්පත් බැංකුව හෙට දින එළිය කරයි.
A very good afternoon to you. You're with Newsfirst. This is your lunchtime news bulletin. Let's take a look at the headlines. 90 complaints lodged over the violation of election laws. National Drug Prevention Program commences under the auspices of the President. Individual arrested for possessing 500 dangerous intoxicant pills in Colombo. On to those stories in detail now. The Election Secretariat says that it has received 90 complaints on election law violations. Meanwhile, political parties submitted their nominations from several districts today as well for the upcoming general elections. Leader of the Democratic Party, Field Marshal Sarath Fonseca, handed in nominations of his party's candidates from the Colombo district to the district secretariat today. Nominations of candidates of the Frontline Socialist Party contesting from the Galle district were submitted to the district returning officer. The nominations were handed in by a group including the party's General Secretary Senadira Gunatilaka and former parliamentarian Ajith Kumara. The theme for this election campaign for our party was a real change and the power of the left. We hope to carry the message of the leftist movement to all the people, especially the suppressed. We also hope that we will be able to represent these leftist ideologies for the people. We believe that the people of the country will give us that victory. Nominations of candidates of the Frontline Socialist Party contesting from the Trincomalee district were submitted to the district secretariat by a group including party group leader Vimal Piyatissa. Nominations of candidates of the Janaseta Peramuna and of an independent group contesting from the Gampaha district were submitted to District Returning Officer Ravindra Heva Vitarana this morning. A special discussion will be held between Elections Commissioner Mahinda Deshapriya and party representatives today. Additional Elections Commissioner R.M.A. Ratnayaka said that various issues pertaining to the parliamentary election will be taken up for discussion at this meeting. He said that handing in of nominations will be especially discussed. The Additional Elections Commissioner went on to say that the party secretaries were previously notified on how to prepare error-free nomination lists. All measures regarding the elections, including those that should be taken to ensure a free and fair election, will be taken up for discussion with the party representatives at the meeting. Buddhika Kodituaku, a former member of the Baddhegrama Pradesh Sabha, alleges that he was assaulted by the police.
The former Pradesh Sabha member claims that he was assaulted the night before last while returning home from a political meeting in the Baddegama area. When
I called the police station, I informed them that cattle is being loaded into a lorry near the school. When the officer responded saying that the mobile patrol had been dispatched to attend another complaint, they said they will attend to this as soon as possible. I contacted the OIC at the Vanduraba police station. Then the OIC came, got on the jeep and assaulted everyone.
Based on the former Pradesh Sabha member's allegations, our area correspondent visited the site allegedly where the cattle were stolen. These were the scenes witnessed at the location. Meanwhile, the former Pradesh Sabha member and the cattle owner have both lodged complaints with the police over the incidents, which are said to have taken place the day before yesterday. We inquired from the police media spokesperson over the allegations levelled by the former Pradesh Sabha member.
A group of persons under the influence had fled after seeing the police arrive. The police officer has witnessed a local government politician at the location. Then the Police Operations Command Office received a phone call that the OIC at the Vanduraba police station, who was under the influence of alcohol, had assaulted a group of persons. The medical officer had submitted a report citing that the OIC of Vanduraba was not under the influence of alcohol.
Meanwhile, the former Pradesh Sabha member Susil Padmasuri claims that his residence in the Nagoda area in Kolkata was attacked with a petrol bomb last night. However, the police said that the petrol bomb did not explode.
The operation to drive the roaming wild elephants in the Putlam area back into the wild entered its 5th day yesterday. The operation was launched by the locals wildlife officers and personnel from the Civil Defence Force. Our correspondent said that 15 pachyderms were chased into the wilderness yesterday. Meanwhile, a 67-year-old died after being attacked by a wild elephant in Kalundava, Dambulla last evening. Police said that he fell victim to the attack while at his manioc cultivation. The man was reportedly attacked after attempts were made by him to chase off the elephant, which encroached onto his cultivation. The victim succumbed to his injuries upon admission to the Dambulla base hospital. On to one of our headline-making stories for the day. The National Drug Prevention Program commenced today in Jayala under the auspices of President Maitri Palasiri. The initiative is undertaken by the Presidential Secretariat, the Department of Police, the Department of Excise and the National Dangerous Drugs Control Board.
The National Drug Prevention Program was initiated today by the President. Large swaths of people gathered at the grounds located in Jayala to participate in the national program. The national program has been initiated as part of efforts to eradicate the drug menace that has been identified as the biggest reasons that deteriorate the morals of society. The National Drug Prevention Month was declared at the event.
උන්වහන්සේලා සෑම කෙනෙක්ම අපේ රටේ වගේම මුළු ලෝකේ මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය නිසා ඇති වී තිබෙන මහා ව්‍යසනය.
You have understood the ill effects that drugs have on national and international level. You have understood the disastrous consequences that arrive with this drug menace. You are also aware that this menace attributed to poverty, sickness, a dysfunctional family and rejection from society. All this happens because of drugs. It is imperative that politicians in the country distance themselves from illegal narcotics. I also wish to emphasize that if a politician is found to have been or currently is connected to illegal narcotics, the government will take every legal measure possible against the said politician, no matter what party he belongs to and no matter what position he holds.
ඉතාම පැහැදිලිව මම මුලින්ම ප්‍රකාශ කරන්නට ඕනේ.
පසුගිය කාලේ මත්ද්‍රව්‍ය භාවිතාව වැඩි වුණා. අත්අඩංගුවට පත් වූවන්ගෙන් සාතිශය බහුතර.
During the past, there was an increase in the use of drugs. Most of those who were arrested are victims of poverty. If we are to save over 100,000 persons from the use of heroin, we need to at least rehabilitate 10,000 persons per year. While we are eradicating the menace on one hand, we need to strengthen the rehabilitation program from the other. Even PAFL has highlighted that persons involved with drugs should not be given nominations. This is mainly seen in both the leading political parties. We hope that the two leaders of these political parties will operate with responsibility.
වගකීමෙන් කටයුතු කරයි කියලා අපි බලාපොරොත්තු වෙනවා.
අද අවසානයේදී මේක මැතිවරණ වේදිකාවේ මැතිවරණ ප්‍රකාශන.
For the first time, 3 health issues have been highlighted on the political stage and the election policies. They are kidney disease, the tobacco ban and the health bill. The situation of this country was so worse that these topics were spoken on every platform. It became the people's issue. Why? Because a common candidate fought against this and needed to emerge victorious. That is what took place at the recent election. Tobacco is the most deadliest killer in the world. There is no debate about that. Number 1 is tobacco, number 2 is liquor. This is the situation around the world. If we wipe out tobacco and liquor, we will be able to control the spread of the non-communicable diseases. Various performances were used to raise awareness on the drug menace.
අපි සියලු දෙනාම එක්කලා හදවතට අත තියලා බලන්න. තමන්ගේ ගෙදරත් මේ වගේ ප්‍රශ්න ඇති. සියලු දෙනාම එක් වෙලා කෑ ගහලා කියන්න. අපි මේකේ නිදහස් වෙනවා කියලා. අපි නිදහස්. මතින් නිදහස් රටක්.
An individual has been arrested in close proximity to the World Trade Center in Fort Colombo for possessing 500 dangerous intoxicant pills imported from India. Police said that the arrest was a result of a crackdown by the police and the Drug Regulatory Authority of Sri Lanka. Investigations had also led to the arrest of the owner of a pharmacy who had supplied the pills to the suspect. Police also discovered another 20,670 such dangerous intoxicant pills in the pharmacy. The suspects are residents from Kandapola and Kalpitiya and are to be produced before the Colombo Fort Magistrate. Meanwhile, 5 persons who were involved in a heroin racket have been arrested in a number of areas in the country, including Colombo. The police media office noted that the arrests were made in Vallampitiya, Tematagoda and Kotahena. 2 persons who were arrested from Vallampitiya were taken into the custody of the police after they were nabbed when transporting heroin in a 3-wheeler. 41 grams and 50 milligrams of heroin, which was found in the possession of one of the suspects, and 10 grams and 130 milligrams, which was found in the possession of the second suspect, were seized by the police. The suspects are scheduled to be produced before the number 2 Magistrate Court of Alutkade today. Let's now take a look at some of the views expressed on the political platform by public representatives. Recently, I saw a phrase written on a 3-wheeler saying jealousy is bigger than Russia. That is exactly what has happened to Sri Lanka as well. Various people made all sorts of statements. I think the time has come for us to move away from our parties and focus on the country. Please see to it that there are no drug dealers and ethanol dealers. When we purchase a pumpkin fruit, we check its stem, don't we? So similarly, look into everyone when making your decision. The future of the 20 million people lie on the 225 parliamentary seats. If that mistake isn't rectified by the 20 million people of this country, the only way to take this country forward is by electing politicians who are aware of their responsibilities and understands the role of leadership. It doesn't matter who you vote for. Look whether they came forward during the presidential election over the past 5 years. Whether they have visited the village, attended funerals, visited your homes, attended weddings, if they have a contact number, and if they answer the phone when contacted. Elect a candidate who has done all these things rather than voting a politician who appeared out of nowhere for the sake of popularity. It is we who will be left humbled. At this point of time, the United National Party has completed 80% of the race in calling of nominations. But the alliance is still lagging because of what they did to the UNP over the past 20 years. This is why they are divided in two. This inefficient government were waiting for our party to divide. Their objective was to turn ourselves amongst one another, create differences among us and create a government. But now that both leaders have united, there isn't anyone to even put up a poster. They are working under the impression that they hold a top position in the country by holding on to power rather than going to prison. This is nothing. It will never happen. So we believe that with the faith we have on the current president, in a few days' time, Mahinda Rajapaksa will not even have what he had. We put an end to the government of corruption, fear, thievery and thuggery. Today, the UNP is asking why the defeated Mahinda Rajapaksa is contesting again. Then we would like to ask why Ranil Wickremesinghe, who has lost 28 times, contesting again. The SLFPA is also part of our public. So is the UNPA. So why do politics with anyone? The JVP is a party which has never worked for its own benefits or privileges. Well, on that note, we conclude this edition of Lunch Primetime News on News First. I'm Saturanga Hapwarachi. Your next news update comes your way at 1:55. Have a productive day ahead.